I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for Pastor.
Shall we pray? Father, we thank you for giving us this time just to pause and acknowledge your presence. We thank you for the freedoms that we enjoy in this country. We thank you for the many resources that we have. We pray for those who do not have as much. We thank you for our volunteer fire personnel. We pray that as they do their job, you would give them protection and skill. We pray that you would bless them in their efforts as they take care of this town. Then we also ask you to, we thank you for the weather today, and we ask you to give us more weather like this so those who work outside on the ground can do so safely. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Before we get started in the meeting, members of the Quaker Street Volunteer Fire Department have asked to have an open discussion with the town board, so we're going to do that first. Who's here to speak? Mrs. Vaughn?
Supervisor Tidball and councilmen and board members, we asked for this time to speak with you as we realize you'll be working on the 2020 budget. 2 years ago, because of concern for the public in District 3, you removed that district from our purview and contracted with Esperance Fire District. The problem people we had have moved on over this period of time. Quaker Street Fire Company has made changes, and we would like the board to know and hope you would reconsider that decision. Last year, 2018, we had 68 calls and never missed one. Not one call. That's an exemplary record. This year so far we've had 24 calls and made them all. We had one scheduled absence over the summer, and Delancey was aware and called on to fill in for us should a call come in. We now have 13 firefighters, five of them interior certified. All are trained on AED CPR and basic aid. We will have 2 firefighters taking EMT training beginning on September 3rd, and they should be certified by November.
December 30th, or December 19th.
What?
December 19th is
the time. Okay, December 19th. We know that getting people who can respond in the daytime is difficult, and we're fortunate to have several available, which is why we've been able to have at least 4 people at every call out in the daytime, and that's pretty good too. We have a mutual aid agreement with Delancey for backup. We back them up, they back us up, so we're both out. We were instrumental in getting permission from the absentee owner to make the pond on Route 7 in District 3 useful for the fire department. That's quite a while ago. We had handled District 3 with no concerns and no problems for many years. It abuts our regular district, and so it's reasonable for us to be there. We have the east side of Youngs Road. District 3 is the west side of Youngs Road. So we're abutting all of the time. District 3 goes from our district just to Schoharie turn, where Schoharie County comes on Route 7, goes down Youngs Road and out Shoemaker Road to Oak Hill. So it's this kind of a U, and just up Selden Road as far as on the east side of Selden Road as far as Vanderbeek's, where the barns and the cows and everything are. The other side is the fields. That's District 3. So we want to say that we're open for negotiations according to the funding with you guys. But we feel that the district money should stay in our district. I mean, it should be Schenectady County and Duanesburg townships. so, because that's where money comes from anyway. So we would like you to reconsider the position while you're dealing with the budget and see if you need more information or you want to come to the fire department and check it out or whatever, we'd be delighted to have you. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a copy of what I said.
Yes, please.
Jessica, no, nobody hearing and reading is something different.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is something we would definitely take in consideration for the budget. I don't want to get into back and forth right now. I appreciate your time coming down, talking to us. Like I said, I will be attending another meeting, either with just a group or one of your meetings, and we'll go from there.
Fine, thank
Simple
you,
as
that's
that.
all we ask. It's
Not a
just
problem.
that you take into consideration
That's
Not a problem.
readjusting.
You know how we work. We
Bridges.
don't just blow people off. We're going to look into it, and we want to have when we give the answer, we want to make sure we have the proof.
Okay,
Simple as that.
okay,
Good.
thank you.
All right, we'll continue with the meeting. Get approval of minutes, please.
Make a motion for approval of minutes for town board meeting on Thursday, August 8th, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? Will call the roll, please?
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Councilmember
Because I have
Senecal?
to drill into Lansing.
I know.
Councilmember Senecal?
Aye.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye.
Make a motion for approval of minutes for a special town board meeting on Thursday, August 15th, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Councilmember Senecal?
Aye.
Supervisor Tidball?
This is mine. Payment of claims, please.
Vouchers to be paid August 22nd, 2019. General fund, number 237 through 247, $167,685.09. Sewer district number 1, numbers 109 through 117, $2,327.52. Sewer district number 2, numbers 120 through 128, $1,928.18. Sewer district number 3, numbers 79 through 86, $772.70. In-house, numbers 9 through 11, $433.40. Highways, number 144 through 146, $2,477.90. Total vouchers to be paid, $175,624.79.
I'll second. Any discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye.
Councilmember Senecal?
Aye.
All right, committee reports. Highway?
No.
Mr. Bill?
Sure. And since our last meeting, we completed the patchwork on Tidball Road and South Shore with winter damage. We're ready for our chip seal program. We're scheduled for the middle of next week. Lower Brown, Coombs, and Esprin Station, as well as Gutho Road. Currently working on Van Patten Road with reclamation. They finished half of it today. Tomorrow they'll do the other lane. Once that's cured, they'll come back and do the single chip seal on Van Patten, and then take care of their warranty work on Lower Mudge. So it'll be a couple weeks for that. So by the end of this month, we'll be in pretty good shape for capital improvement. That's about it.
Anything else for highway? Be a quick night tonight. Publics.
I do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do we have the word out for additional people for coming winter season?
For what, wingman and stuff?
Yeah.
Need one more.
We can put it on the Facebook page and the website.
I think we should do that, and maybe even hang a banner
Put something in front of the building.
on the truck. Put a truck out there.
Elk wanted?
Suggested.
Yeah.
You can do like those sign
Yeah.
spinning guys that do it for
That's
the
it, yeah.
taxi company.
Like the Liberty guy does.
Roger can be out there.
No, he can wear a suit.
The suit. Dress up like
Yeah, I've
that.
reached out to a couple people. There's a gal that.
So you're
seems
short one?
interested. Yeah.
Might wanna have one on call.
It'd be good to have a backup.
So,
Yes.
take what we can get. Anything else, Jeff?
That's it.
Alright, public safety, Charles is not here, not really much to report. We have some members from Esperance Fire Department. Any of you guys wanna report on going on in your fire department, or?
Just real quick, we actually, I just wanted to give you a couple of things, so you guys had them. And I don't know if you guys are, I know, you know, that you guys are the town board. So, I just want to give you guys a copy of this. This is the New York State best practice.
Okay.
This is what New York State Fire just came out with, that all fire departments in New York State are supposed to come in compliance with.
Alright,
You know, just take a look through it and make you better understand it for, you know, your time with the budget and stuff. And then
Yeah.
here's a couple copies, different of the active list, our current EMTs and, our pump operators.
okay,
We have, we've taken care of, you know, that new portion over there in District 3 for, this will be the second year. It's been, you know, fairly quiet over there. I know there was, you know, some concerns, biggest thing that I have, is we're taking a majority of calls right now in the town of Waynesburg for the mutual aid departments. So, just so you guys are aware too, you know.
I'm aware.
Seems like every weekend we're taking calls in the village of Delanson and in their district. Quaker Street removed us, as well as to Waynesburg off to mutual aid, so we don't see too much with them. But,
Well, we appreciate everything you guys are doing for us,
so,
no doubt.
you know, and this year, you know, it's like, you know, they did say daytime is a little tough. So right now, we've done 138 calls so far this year, and we've missed 21. So I don't think that's too bad out of 138 calls. So
Now, those 21, were they on, what do you think the majority is
maybe 5, 6 over here.
in the rest in Esperance area?
Yeah. Yeah. EMS is a tough thing to fill today, and, you know.
Oh, it is, it's
Now
tougher
that-
and tougher every day.
We just got a new daytime EMT, so it's helped us out quite a bit.
Mhm.
We haven't missed hardly anything, so.
Has there been more discussion from like when the last fire captain was meeting about ambulance service? Has anybody reached out to you guys?
No.
Okay, I'll reach out to Mr. Brody and
We've had our,
Mr.
yeah.
LaBelle.
I tabled it.
Oh, okay,
I didn't want a discussion with him until I had everything on my end, edges of stone,
alright.
all right?
Yeah, it needs to happen soon.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, Matt?
No.
Lori?
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I am a member of Esperance, but I live in the town of Dwaynesburg, so
Yeah.
that's where my taxpayer money goes to. I have a couple of concerns, and I know it's gonna seem tit for tat, but I'm in Quaker Street's fire district. So what concerns me is the chief's vehicle. I see it all over Schoharie County. I see it up at Sacandaga Lake.
Alright.
I don't know what their procedures are, what their policies are, how far it's allowed to go, but I know quite a few out to Esperance, Dwaynesburg, it stays in the area unless there's a call or we're going to class or whatever. And the other thing is, I know they have new membership now, but do they have qualified pump operators for this equipment?
That's
They
something,
have-
yeah.
You know, they have all this new equipment in there and it's not being used and it's just sitting there.
And that's what I plan on when we have these meetings with them in the near future. I know most of the questions they ask. I plan
Okay,
on,
all right,
you know,
so,
I've been down this road several times.
all right, good,
So,
thank you.
Yeah. And being with the chief's vehicle, I really can't answer, other than they're a commission district, they run their own rules,
Right,
you know.
so I plan on going to the next
And
meeting.
you being a taxpayer, I told everybody, and anybody ever has a problem with the fire department, any district, whatever, you're the taxpayer, you're paying your monies, just like coming to here for the things that, say with the highway department, it's like your taxes are paying for that fire department.
Right.
Be vocal. Be
Okay.
vocal at the fire department meetings, you know.
Roger, can I just
Yeah.
ask you a question?
No,
So
well-
if you went and say you went and contracted back with them, and the chief's vehicle continued to be seen all over the place. Now, is that something the town residents can come back and see you on?
Probably
Or-
because since the town, that money,
Okay.
from any money that's raised in District 3, you know, which is, you know, up your side of town, Burtonville area, where I live, up to almost Marieville. Anybody is paying that, remember, it's a one big chunk and we divvy it.
Right,
Anybody that's in District 3 would have the rights to say that, you know, their money that's coming out of District 3 is help paying for stuff at Quaker Street, yes.
okay,
That's the only way I can see that. So.
all right, thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, moving along, Charles ain't here for Park Committee. Trying to think if you had anything. I know they've been planting a lot of flowers up to the point. Have a good night, thank you.
Take care.
Mrs., I don't have the full thing, I just read it quick. Mrs. Peters got a grant from Route 20 something grant program to get some flowers, so I thank her very much for getting that, and they were planting them up there. Point's come a long way in many years. That's it for Park. Sewer districts?
A couple minor things. We got, they had some I&I over in Marieville, and they found the source of it. And it's actually, they found it today. They actually had to hire an outside company to come in and help bust through some of the rough ground over there.
Okay.
And they got down there and they found that it's a new SDR line from a house out to the main.
Yeah.
And it was out in the street, and it had been not backfilled properly and cracked the pipe,
Yep.
and so it had all kinds of infiltration because of that.
That's
So,
good that they found them.
Yeah, it's great.
yeah, so
Was it like on the,
so they're fixing it.
where, you know what that was on? 'Cause I know the one side's real bad.
It's South Shore, or
Yeah.
I think you said South Shore Road.
Yeah.
But it's a recent, like, job, and so Dale was actually gonna go back and find out who did it, because if it wasn't backfilled properly, and so
Yeah.
I suggested that maybe they would be responsible.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, other than that,
That's good news. Any I find any holes is great.
yeah, he said there was a lot coming through that one.
Well, there's a few spots there it sits low where the water just flows all day long, like on the other side of the lake,
Yeah.
like the Princetown side.
Yep,
It's real bad over there. It has to be totally sealed.
yep.
So,
Anyway, so they found one.
That's good. Good news.
All right.
Mr. Bill?
Mostly just closing out paperwork with EFC for the long-term project. I know we got one new thing that came up that we got to track down paperwork-wise. And then the project in Delancey, I believe we're set for closing in September to keep that one moving forward. The planning contract, the MWBE and everything was approved this past week, so that was good. In Marieville, we have the agreement with DEC on the agenda tonight, and that's for the disinfection project. So DEC is mandating you put disinfection at that plant. They provided funding for a portion of the project. This is the agreement between the town and DEC for them to provide that funding. It is a reimbursement grant, so they would provide it at the end of the project. So when we're ready, kind of the next thing is to discuss how to come up with short-term financing for that project.
And my understanding was we still have plenty of time, so we don't need to start that project until next year.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
wouldn't want to
we
get
don't have-
financing until we were going to need the money.
Right.
So,
Yeah, 2020 is, when we can kind of start digging into that.
I did have one question. On the speedies permit
Mhm.
information for the, I believe it was
Delancey.
the Lansing plant.
Yep.
Did DEC have any questions about that, or you haven't heard anything?
I haven't heard anything back from them. We submitted everything, the lab testing came back.
Okay.
So everything went in. I know they're doing basically an audit in advance of the speedies permit being renewed next year. Every 5 years it gets re-upped, and next year's lucky number 5.
So we should hear back from him soon then?
Anything else? Anything else for Bill, from Bill, to Bill? About Bill? IT, Mr. Ganther's not here tonight, he had to go out of town last second. Nothing really new to report. We had a broadband meeting a few weeks ago, we already reported on. We look forward to our next one, we're going to try to get some of the higher officials in Santa Barbara and so other representatives to see about grant money to keep our projects moving forward. We're just waiting on Spectrum to finalize some stuff to hopefully get some of the small projects that we have on the books to get done for this year and just go from there. So Verizon trucks have been out and about. They actually went down my road, so the northern part is getting wired, which we discussed before, which is great. Got a lot of people on Facebook saying how great it is. And Spectrum, the project they did on Schoharie Turnpike is complete, so they're notifying residents they can sign up. I believe it was like 62 houses total, which is quite a bit. It's like the Crow Hill area, so that's good news. I got nothing else. Any other discussions we need to have before we go to business meeting? All right, business meeting then.
Motion to approve and authorize the town supervisor to execute the New York State DEC grant agreement on behalf of the town of Waynesburg, whereas the Maryville wastewater treatment plant, parentheses, the Maryville wastewater treatment plant serves Maryville Lake District number 2, and whereas the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, New York State DEC, amended to the New York State Pollution Discharge Elimination System Permit, the Speedies Permit, for the Maryville wastewater treatment plant, requiring that the Maryville wastewater treatment effluent be disinfected, parentheses, the proposed improvements, and whereas the town board has previously determined that this is a type 2 action, and whereas the town board is empowered to authorize the proposed improvements subject to the provisions of New York Town Law 202-B, and whereas the estimated cost of the improvements is $400,000, and whereas New York State DEC awarded the town of Waynesburg a reimbursement grant in the amount of $300,000 to fund the proposed improvements, and whereas the town will pay the upfront cost of the proposed improvements by issuing obligations pursuant to the local finance law, and whereas New York State DEC has issued a final grant agreement, parentheses, grant agreement, attached hereto for the town board's review and approval. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves and authorizes the town supervisor to execute the grant agreement on behalf of the town of Waynesburg.
Second. Any further discussion?
I just wanted to point out the grant agreement is attached here. Everything is done sort of electronically now. But the important thing about this is not a short-term financing. It's just a grant that's awarded by reimbursement. So first you'll have to expend the entire amount, and then you'll have to seek reimbursement. It's sort of like the FEMA.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we're going to try to do differently, though, is submit the packets each month to DEC so that if there's any questions or any new data they need from us, they have it and they need to review it right away. We don't want to get to the end and then find that we didn't keep a particular record that they needed or something. So that's the hope, and this is just sewer district number 2, so it should be right, Bill? It should be relatively simple.
The ultimate work is to put in UV disinfection, which is a fairly contained piece of equipment, so it's once it's on site, it'll be a pretty short burn for their net.
Clear call roll, please.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Councilmember Senecal?
Aye.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye.
Motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the Schenectady County Youth Bureau contract. Whereas the town of Waynesburg sponsors youth services and/or youth recreation programs, and whereas the town board has reviewed the attached contract provided by Schenectady County, now therefore be resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to sign the contract.
Second.
This is a contract we sign every year that helps pay for our park committee, or our park program. It's a great thing that the county does, and we greatly appreciate it. Any other discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Senecal?
Aye.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye. I'll read the next one. Motion approved and authorize the town supervisor enter a professional services agreement with BST for accounting services. Whereas the town board issued a request for proposals for accounting services, whereas the town board reviewed the proposals received in response, and whereas the town board approves proposals submitted by Virtual Accounting Services, a division of BST, attached here too, and wishes to retain BST under professional services agreement for accounting services. Now therefore be resolved, the town board approves the proposal submitted by BST and approves the town supervisor, subject to town board approval, to enter a professional services agreement with BST for accounting services.
Second.
This,
Okay. Just one amendment.
okay,
It's not only just the proposal, it's the proposal and the contract, which
Okay.
is attached. Sorry.
Second.
discussion on this. Recently, our regular bookkeeper has decided to move on to another career path. So we opened the door to either hire another bookkeeper, and we also looked into outside services, accounting services that deal with municipalities. Was actually a few of them out there. By far, BST was great. We met with them. They gave a great presentation. They come well backed by the towns that they already service. So they're going to handle basically the accounts receivable, accounts payable for us, and basically there'll be no hardly any increase in price or a cost to the town what they're doing it for. It's really well streamlined. They have their own accounting program. Like I said, they handle a lot of other towns, so they know the municipal codes and anything that they need to do. So we look forward to a great joint venture with them for the future.
I'm personally really enthused about it from a redundancy standpoint and the economies of scale. It's going to be just fantastic. It's a great benefit to the town.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great benefit to the town also. They're definitely seem like they're
On top of it.
on top of everything there, yeah. And they're also gonna, every month they're gonna give you a report.
Yeah, more detailed reports and keep us well groomed. Any other discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye.
Councilmember Senecal?
Aye.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Motion to approve CNC Rock as a new vendor.
I'll second. CNC Rock, that's a joint venture between,
Partnership between Carver and Coastal Stone at the batch mix plant down here in Altamont.
okay.
Right close. Good short haul to get asphalt now, so they've been down for a couple of years.
That's good. All right, any other discussion on it? Clerk call the roll, please.
Councilmember Senecal?
Aye.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye. I'll make a motion to amend the budget transfer from budget line in item 2801.01 in the amount of $8,380 to budget line item 71102.01.200 as a budget amendment.
I'll second. Discussion on this, we did a budget transfer last board meeting. We did it incorrectly, so this is to amend it and to make it correctly. This was for the trailer that was it for the trailer? Yeah, for the trailer we purchased for the park programs, or for the parks.
Here we go.
Wow.
I didn't think I heard it very properly. No, you're not transferring from, you're increasing that line and increasing that line. You're not transferring anything. This is a revenue account. That's the expenditure account.
Okay, so they're amending the
Do you want me to go get
resolution
what I
they
had
did?
printed up, typed up?
Let me see, I think I have what you gave me.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, we want to get it right. There you go.
Increase that line
Okay,
and increase that line.
okay.
The amount, it's just you're not
All right.
transferring
All right.
from.
Okay,
Start over again.
Sorry.
that's all right.
Make a motion to increase line 71102.01.200A, Parks Equipment, $8,380. And also increase 2801.01A interfund revenue to $8,380. Sound right? Right.
Yes,
Second.
Yeah, there we go.
sorry.
It's all right, we did it right now.
Sorry, I just-
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Third time's a charm. All right, clerk, call the roll, please.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Councilmember Senecal?
Any other business meeting items? All right, open the privilege of the floor. If you wish to speak, just please stand up, state your name, address, and go from there. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Lynn Bruning at 13388 Twinsburg Road. And I believe council said at the last planning board meeting last week that our solar laws are unremarkable, which to me is of great concern for our town as a whole. We are known for 100-acre tracts of land. Solar is increasing at a very rapid rate throughout upstate New York and will only continue to increase. There's a project in Coxsackie that's a 600-acre project. It's coming, and I think that it's time for the town to please consider amending some of our solar laws. Some proposals I would like to see discussed would be the increase of notification for property owners that are within the sight line of a project. We have hills and valleys. Where a solar project goes impacts more than those property owners within a 1,000-foot boundary. I would also like to see overall within our zoning code increased so that as large commercial projects come in, that if they're over $1 million, that contractor developer is willing to put forth money to employ an additional person here at the planning department that's in charge of keeping track of more of the paperwork, helping to facilitate communication with the public, and overall shepherding a project through the planning board. When we have such large budget projects coming in, those are contractors and developers that can afford to help us take care of our own. So what I'm asking tonight is, how do I help impact the public policy and our legislation in a positive way so that Duanesburg is growing and developing according to what our comprehensive plan states, what our survey states that the residents want, and if somebody on the board would please work with me on how to get these amendments put into action and get this done for the long-term benefit of our community.
Right now, we, several months ago, we sent out a survey to every resident in town. Those surveys came back and it was a good response. And when you look at the numbers, and they'll be released, not much has changed from the survey they did umpteen years ago. People still want rural, they want the basic necessities. Hannaford was a godsend. Actually, I was on the planning board when Hannaford came through. People didn't want it, believe it or not. Those same people I see shopping there. So it's one of those deals. But we're still working. I don't know if you probably met Mr. Sexton on our planning board chair.
I can't say that I've met him. I can't say I've met anybody on the planning board.
Well, he's our planning board chair. He's heading up our comprehensive plan review. So we're looking, we've been for the last year or two, starting to get the ball rolling on a new comprehensive plan. Do we want to change it, to amend it, start all over again, whatever. So him and the planning board are actually, mostly him, is leading the charge on getting that done. So you can get in contact with him through the planning department, get his email address, and tell him that you want to.
And I have contacted him once a week for 4 weeks and never had a response.
I apologize for that. I'll send him an email. He has actually missed the last few meetings. He travels a lot for business.
And I understand that.
Yeah,
We're all busy people. I'm not so concerned about our comprehensive plan. I am concerned about the solar laws.
Well, that's going to be part of it. That's going to be part of the comprehensive plan is going to encompass everything pretty much that happens here in Duanesburg, and the solar laws will be
So
something
the
to look at.
ordinances and the laws, which are separate documents,
Yeah.
he's also working towards
There'll
amending.
be discussions about them. The solar law we adopted was the county law, in which we added some things too.
Mhm.
Your statement about solar coming, we knew about this. Right now here in Duanesburg, that's gonna be the last project you'll probably see, because the infrastructure
Mhm.
is not bad. So Eden Renewables, the town, tell you a quick story, the town, through the county's initiative to go green, they presented us and said with General Electrics to develop solar farms. So they came to us, where do you have town land at a solar farm you want? So we offered the landfill. Can't be used for anything else. It's closed. And so come to find out the infrastructure was not there because Eden Renewables already had their foot in the door. You gotta put a, get a permit and everything. So they were actually blocking us. So it kind of said, oh, well, the town's gonna lose money, you're not gonna be able, but after meeting with the owners of Eden Renewables and the project, I see a good thing. I don't live there. I know you guys are the neighbors, and I understand, and trust me, I hear your plight, but
It's actually not a plight.
I'm sorry not to use that word, but
I'm very concerned about them being financially responsible, and I'm concerned about them not having the professional experience to fulfill their contract on the construction,
okay.
as well as maintaining it.
I'm sure
They
they're
have,
bonded, right? Yeah.
I understand they're bonded. It's
Yeah.
not a heck of a lot of money when you
Okay.
get down to it.
Yeah.
My concerns are not so much about solar. My
Yeah.
concerns are about a responsible company.
I understand.
And I have not had proof of them.
They haven't given you the warm fuzzy yet. They haven't made you
No,
proof.
it's not a warm fuzzy, sir. What it actually is false documentation.
Okay. I mean, we can discuss that further later. But so when you say more solar is coming, unless unless National Grid or whoever the power supplier at the time changes the infrastructure, and with solar, they have no need to. They actually do not, from what I was told and from what I heard, they don't want it. They don't want the solar power because they want to be able to produce the power. That's how they make their money. So in Duanesburg, you might see a few small ones here and there, or if it goes to another substation, which I know there's some of it will go to Burdick Street, but that's not on the Maryville side of town. But even that one's pretty tapped out. So in Duanesburg, like I started saying, you might, by the time they do that, it's gonna probably be long after our day.
But overall, Waynesburg is growing.
Absolutely.
And it's going to continue to grow.
Yes.
I think it's in all of our best interest to really look at our zoning laws and the solar laws and tighten it up.
I agree 100%.
Unremarkable is not good enough.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Like I said, that's why we restarted doing the comprehensive plan, because like we said, we sent the survey out to see what the residents wanted, and we're going to take that data and go.
And I filled it out. It was great.
Yeah.
I did it
So
online. Thank
when we
you.
get to the point of the meetings are going to be public. For anybody who wants to come and voice, will be open discussion. It's probably going to be a long-term project, but it's going to be with the results of what the public wants at that point.
Alrighty, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your input. Anybody else? Mr. Hoffman?
Yeah, have you gone any further with hiring any engineers to look at the highway department?
I mean, that was just a quick open discussion we had a few meetings ago. I think over the next couple months we want to get through a few other things and start. I'm not paying a dime until Tony shows me some plans.
Right.
We're going to do this one smart.
Well, that's an old
Smart.
building. Look at all the engineering fees that you've paid for
Yes.
Jehovah's Witness and Hammond Building and that.
Yes.
I mean, that's all money down the drain.
You're absolutely right. That's why
You got a building that's 1922, I
Yes.
believe. It needs take the grade all backhoe and level it and put something new up there. And get it so it's
Yeah, and that's what we want to have a few engineering groups come back to us. We say, this is what we need. What do you recommend and how much?
Yeah, but spending money to try to
I'm
rehab
not
something
spending.
that's...
I'm not spending. Yeah.
I'm not-
Well, it matters what they come back to. They might come back to say it's going to cost umpteen dollars to knock it down because it ain't nothing free anymore. And then you have to dig it all out. You've done this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we've talked about this many times about the other buildings. Municipal rates. Take what it costs you to build a barn on your property and times it by 3.
I understand that because we had looked into other outfits that
Yes.
would put buildings up, and
Yeah.
that was, in their quotes, that was already all. So it wasn't astronomical either, that much, you know, kind of make it believe that these fees were extremely high. You know, you'd have a commercial enterprise come in here and build it anyway,
Mhm.
and, you know, they have
Well,
to
we're gonna go, that's why we're gonna have several, I like to see a competition between engineering groups try to get the job. And that's gonna benefit us at the end of the day.
But to spend any money in that old building? No.
Trust me, I agree with you. But you never know, the roots might be good still. Like you, right?
Anyway,
But anyways,
keep going. Put up a new building, they need it.
Absolutely.
They need it for a long time.
we'll call it the Dick Hoffman Garage.
There you go.
There we go. Hoffman Hall.
Yeah.
Anybody else? All right, make the motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Park.
Mr. Parker, a lifelong resident of this beautiful town, I wanted to find out if you could please tell me when your budget workshop is, what time it would be, if you have it scheduled, where it will be,
We have nothing scheduled yet.
nothing at
Probably
all.
the next board meeting, we should have some announcement for him.
Okay, that's great. And I don't know if you are taking into consideration of this year's budget. I've noticed, you know, we had a big turnover in employees this year.
Mhm.
And I don't know why, that's a personal reason. But one of my concerns as a lifelong resident of this beautiful town, and I always praise this town, and one of the things that I do not like to see, and I believe that if you were to ask any resident in this town, they would agree, and you would agree yourself. Is there a plan to hire an additional code enforcement officer to clean up the town's blight? The properties that are zombie properties, the properties that are uncaped. We have town laws, and I've said this on record before. Even Mr. Potter has signed legislation and bring this legislation for unmaintained properties in our town.
Mhm.
And I see all over our town, unbelievable. We don't need to spend money, just extra help for the code enforcement officer.
That's fine.
That's it. We already have the laws
Mhm.
to enforce them. And I know you're worried about, you know, we don't want to enforce it because you'll have to tear it down. Well, then tear it down. Get rid of it and, you know, resell it or something like that. But as a lifelong resident, it sickens me to continuously, like Luchas. It's like, why? Somebody just has to go up there with a mower, make it look, put a for sale sign on it, a for rent sign, or something. That would help. And I said a number before which shocked you. And I could stand here and ask you, do you know how many unmaintained zombie properties are in our town?
No, I don't.
No, I know.
Nowhere near the number you came up with. Though.
Well, you don't know that, sir.
Neither do you.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I counted those.
Okay.
You asked me to prove them. You know, I said
See.
333.
Oh, your number was a lot higher.
No, you're just counting houses. I'm counting properties that are, you know. But I'm just wondering if you have a plan in this budget process to hire additional help for our code enforcement so we could clean up the town. That's all.
We'll take
Thank
it into
you.
consideration.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I second that. I mean, we need more code enforcement.
We agree. But the problem with that is I'm saying not a problem with that is, a lot of the properties are tied up in banks. It kind of ties our hands.
But, so we can't get rid of some of the junk that's piled up?
We do, we have. It's a slow process. It really is.
I
And
understand it's a
and
very
at the end of the
slow
day,
process.
it does cost the taxpayers money.
So that's why I'm saying, how do we get somebody else hired? Dale is overworked.
I could have 10 people on that staff, and it's just because of the process you have to go through to get reimbursed or to get it properly done. It's the red tape of bureaucracy.
Okay, thank you.
You know, because a lot of the properties go to the county.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you mean to tell me that various properties, specifically along Route 7, that have
more unlicensed cars on their property than the code allows. I know my husband was here several years ago, and we were complaining about various specific properties.
Mhm.
Nothing has ever been done about it. And I really feel,
Is there a place
I
to
feel
look at?
badly about that kind of thing, because it certainly impacts all of our real estate values to have garbage and junk cars and things like that just left on properties. They're unsightly. They're not helping the community at all. And I would like to see the board do something about enforcing regulations and codes like that.
Absolutely. For now on, for anything that you have, like I didn't think I know what the properties you're talking about, and we did board up the one, which is now been rehabbed.
Oh, we have some boarded up properties. We have properties with junk cars.
Yes,
Which are
but-
all west of the
Yes.
proposed solar field. They are on both sides of the road,
Yeah.
and they have been there and that way for years.
Please put in a letter with the addresses.
I will be glad to.
Address
I
to the
even
town-
brought you photographs of them before.
That's fine. Make sure they're addressed to the town board.
I will.
Is there a place where these are kept on record so that
What's
we
that?
would,
The complaints?
complaints
I'm
and
sure they're probably,
inspections?
I have to check with Dale. I'm sure they are.
Okay, because then we would know what has been complained about so that we
Yeah.
wouldn't waste his time.
I believe it would probably become a FOIL request, Teresa, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Dale does a monthly report
Yeah,
on
to
what
us.
he's doing.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you have, or tell any resident of your friends, if they have the same concern, when you bring something to the town, make sure it goes to the town board so we're aware of it. And then
Okay.
we're held responsible for it also.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, make the motion for adjournment.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Supervisor Tidball?
Aye.
Councilmember Potter?
Aye.
Councilmember Central?
All right.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
You can talk to you a second.
That out.
Well, I'm a twin.